Hello, everyone. Really good to see you. Welcome. And thank you very much for joining us on the call this morning to hear about the Festival of Suffolk 2022. I'm Mark Pendlington, and I'm one of the team that is helping to plan and organise and pull arrangements together for the festival. It was my signature at the bottom of the letter that persuaded you to devote an hour of your precious time this morning on this course, helping host the call today. The first is our Lord Lieutenant, Lady Euston, who is the inspiration behind the festival. Tim Holder, Head of Public Affairs at the Suffolk Community Foundation. Kate Paul, who you can see sitting next to Tim, who is the Communications Officer at the Foundation. She's still smiling, which is always a good sign. And Hannah Reid, who's the Director of Innovation and Business Development at Community Action Suffolk. All forces of nature. So may I now ask Lady Claire, or invite Lady Claire, to say a few words of welcome before we get to the presentation.
Thank you very much, Mark. Well, a particularly warm welcome to you all, and I know how busy you are, so I'm very, very impressed that you found the time to join us this morning. I'm sorry that I can't see you, so there'll be this rather discombobulated voice talking to you all. We've all been working tirelessly together to support communities and organisations through the COVID pandemic. And before we talk about the Festival of Suffolk, I did want to take this important opportunity to express my very deepest thanks for all you're doing to support communities, local organisations and people across our wonderful county. Many of you who've been at the forefront of this incredible effort have been recognised locally for your work. But next year, a special Jubilee medal will be awarded by Her Majesty the Queen to those who protected and cared for us and who've kept us going, in particular in the armed services, the NHS, all emergency services, and so many others. We're not yet out of the woods, but we all know Suffolk to be a resilient, vibrant, compassionate and creative county, which means that we can now begin to look to the future with much more certainty and confidence. This includes anticipating the celebrations for the awe-inspiring anniversary of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee in 2022. With the national programme of events already announced to take place over the extended bank holiday weekend in early June, we have also been planning for how we might celebrate this remarkable and historic anniversary here in Suffolk. What a perfect opportunity this will be to shine a spotlight on Suffolk, to celebrate what we all achieve and to help us all recover, reset and recharge after the pandemic. The great coming back together for everyone. From arts, culture and heritage to our beautiful environment, from our remarkable network of voluntary and charitable organisations, to our public and emergency services, our local councils serving diverse urban and rural areas, to world-leading businesses and our strong sense of community, to a focus on sport and well-being and to new opportunities for young people, to boost aspiration and to end isolation for those feeling vulnerable or alone. The focus of all these ideas and ambitions will, we hope, with your support and enthusiasm, be brought to life in the Festival of Suffolk, which will be for the whole county. With the help and support of over 60 organisations so far, excellent progress is being made with planning and preparations, as you'll hear in a few moments. Everyone on this call is uniquely well placed to help. Please, may I ask for the benefit of your knowledge, ideas and experience, as together we bring the festival to life. I am told by the National Jubilee team in London that Suffolk is the most advanced county in terms of our planning, and I want us all to be proud of the festival we create. Please join colleagues from every aspect of county life, including local authorities, MPs, civic and health service leaders, the Chief Constable, business leaders, schools, colleges, and our university, as well as the Chamber of Commerce, the media, the Community Foundation, Suffolk Association of Local and Town Councils, and CAS, all of whom are already involved. We're inviting everyone to share their ideas so that the festival can reflect Suffolk at its best, celebrating the Jubilee, but focused on helping the county recover and thrive following the challenges of the past 2 years. So please let me hand over now to Mark Pendlington and Tim Holder to take us through some of the details. Thank you very much.
Lady Claire, thank you very much indeed. And now is the moment we hold our breaths as the presentation magically comes to life on the screen. Thank you. Perfect. Well, as you can see, it's all very pink, but at least it catches your attention. I'll just take you through some very brief slides, just to make sure that you feel sort of very much updated with where the festival is and the plans for it. And it will come at the end with our invitation to all of you to be involved and to be part of it, as Lady Claire has just said. So let's start with the vision. It's a vision that is centred on celebrating Suffolk during the Queen's historic Platinum Jubilee. And it will bring together all people and communities in a joyful celebration. And when we say all communities, we'll come in a moment to what is a loose definition of community. We mean bringing all parts of Suffolk together, whether the community is geographic or it's a community of interest, or it's a social group or of community, whatever it is. We want and hope the festival will reach out and touch each individual in the county. So wherever you live, whatever your work or whatever your ambition in life or whatever your family's interests are, we hope the festival will touch your interest, and hopefully the people in the county will come together in what we say here is the joyful celebration. We know Suffolk to be a place of great opportunity, but we also know it to be home to a lot of very serious challenges. And we are hoping the festival will not only celebrate all that is best about our national and county life, but it will also tackle some of the challenges we face, because it is as much about the celebration and having a very good time next year, hopefully. It is also about making sure that the festival has a very secure legacy. What is it all about, and what will it achieve over the next 2 or 3 years? So I'm saying here that it is about everybody, and it's across generational as well as across diverse communities, making sure that networks are brought together, common interests are formed, and there is no place for boundaries. It is Suffolk at its best, with no one left behind as a result of the festival. Everyone needs to be included. It is for and about the county we know and love, and all the people who live, work, and learn here. So the next slide outlines our values, and the temptation is very easy, isn't it, to sort of say, let's have a festival. Here are lots of events. Here's where you can buy tickets. See you there. But I think if we're going to make sure, oh, sorry, can we just stay on the previous slide? What is key to the festival is to focus it down on what really is important that will benefit the county and benefit our local communities. So we've set about some values and goals, and our invitation to you to get involved in the festival is also to focus on these, which having spoken to many people right across the county from all walks of life and all organisations, businesses and education, we've had the very strong feedback that we need to focus on what our values and our goals are. So here are the key ones. First is to be open. for Suffolk, for the festival to be inclusive and welcoming, just like our county, without boundaries. Let's be creative. Let's really show off the dynamism and creativity of the county. And let's really show how Suffolk can not only enjoy itself, but address many of the issues that face us. We want to be original, lots of original thinking. And Lady Claire and I, several months ago, had a call with the man called Martin Green, who's organising the National Festival of Britain. And it was very pleasing to see that his plans, which are now coming to fruition for the National Festival, are perfectly aligned with those we've got for Suffolk. So as we go through the festival and as we celebrate nationally as well as in the county, there will be common links between the two. So people will be able to see Suffolk in tune with the national mood and the national celebrations, or I should say the national celebrations and mood is in tune with what we're driving here in Suffolk. As Lady Claire said, we're well ahead of the game in the country in terms of our planning, and that's lovely to hear, but we mustn't be complacent. So lots of originality, be really optimistic, really be uncompromising in terms of excellence and creating a good future for Suffolk. What is it we need to do, and by when, in order to benefit Suffolk and communities here? So let's be optimistic. Let's dare to think big and set positive and big ambitions for ourselves. We deserve nothing less, after all. United, of course, bringing generations and diverse communities together. We've already got a flavour of that in the previous slide. And making sure our networks and our common interests are shared and connected with many organisations as possible for the better. I often find, as I know others on the call do, that there is huge benefit to be had in communities linking with each other to share good ideas and best practice, because ideas that may be really flying in the west of the county, in Haverhill, for example, may not have been heard of in the east or the north, the south of the county, Framlingham or Beccles or Eye. So it's really important that we share ideas and get the most out of this together. Compassionate. I mean, goodness, after the past year, Suffolk has been seen to be a resilient and compassionate county, and no one must be left behind. And the festival will be a moment for us all to recover, reset and recharge following the challenges of last year, and to get ourselves back on track, and for there to be a sustainable, positive impact for the festival. It's not just a big party. It will be. Suffolk always enjoys itself when it comes together, but it must have that legacy, which I was talking about. And then it must be of Suffolk. Suffolk is a wonderful and beautiful place, but it's very self-effacing. It is very modest about itself. But this is a moment, I think, to get out the trumpet and give it a good tootle, because I think Suffolk deserves a lot of national attention. It needs to re-establish, perhaps in some areas, its self-confidence. And I just think we need to remind people what a great and glorious place it is to live, work and learn here, and indeed to visit here. So this is of Suffolk. It's Suffolk's moment in the spotlight, as Lady Claire said earlier. So the next slide talks about our goals. And I was talking about a legacy. And I think it's really important that we focus on what we can achieve together for the best possible impact for the county. So our goals are in two parts. First is to utilise the outstanding work done by the Suffolk Community Foundation and the University of Suffolk in producing, I think it was last October, the third edition of the Hidden Needs Report, which identifies a lot of the challenges, well, many of the challenges facing the county. And there are some very serious ones, as, my goodness, you don't need me to tell you that. You're working and living in those areas yourselves, and you're tackling those issues on a day-to-day basis, particularly in local authorities and parish and town councils. So this is a moment to focus in on the aspirations in the Hidden Needs Report and to address those big challenges, so we can turn the dial on some of those really worrying statistics. But also, and increasingly in business and elsewhere, there's a bigger focus coming now on the United Nations sustainability goals. And these are the coloured boxes on the right of this slide. And don't think we're getting sort of too big for our boots here and thinking, well, the United Nations, and this is just Suffolk. But because actually many organizations are focusing on those sustainability goals, not only in the UK, but internationally. And if you look at the 17 of them, most of them are absolutely relevant to Suffolk and are worthy of our attention. So if you're looking at where our goals are, they are in the Hidden Needs Report and the aspirations in the UN Sustainability Goals. So if you look at our values and you look at our goals, you begin, I hope, to see where the festival is trying to focus to make sure it has an impact and a solid, positive legacy. Now, the next slide is community. And I fell into the trap when I started working with the team on the festival, thinking, well, community is where I live. But actually, as I said earlier, community is a place where people gather and feel a sense of belonging. That could be in a village, a town, but it also could be in an ethnic group. It could be in a social setting. It could be a hobby group, whatever it might be. This festival is about reinforcing and ensuring we have strong, sustainable communities going forward. And I think that's a really important point to make, that it is the breadth of the ambition of the festival that is, I think, inspiring and exciting. And the next slide talks very positively about what we can do together. And there are 6 areas. We've been talking to a lot of people, many of whom are included on this call and the others we're having, to show what is it we can achieve together. And it comes down, we think, to 6 key areas. The first is enterprise, celebrating business success. We have a number of world-leading businesses here based in Suffolk who choose to base themselves here for all sorts of really good reasons, and we want to keep them and we want more to come. There are thousands of smaller businesses with big ambitions for growth, and there are also a lot of entrepreneurs and innovators tucked away behind those hedges, often in barn conversions or in business centres, quietly getting on, doing remarkable things. Well, we think this is the moment to help shine a spotlight on what they're achieving and to encourage them to do more of it. This comes to life, certainly in the Queen's Award for Enterprise, for example, and Lady Clare's presented a number of these awards to businesses around the county. But we think we need to shine a spotlight on enterprise because that generates growth. It gives opportunities to young people for jobs and opportunities. And we think that should be celebrated, including making sure nationally and internationally Suffolk is reminded, or the national and international communities are reminded, that Suffolk is a great place to invest and grow a business and to nurture the talent that our schools, colleges and university generate. So that's enterprise. The second is environment. Improving sustainability and enhancing our natural surroundings. Suffolk's a beautiful county. There is so much we can do for and about the environment, be it on the coast, in our parks, or wherever it might be. And I'll be talking in a second about the Queen's Green Canopy, which is at the heart of our environmental pledge here. So there's a lot of work we can do on the environment. Culture and tourism. My goodness, this is a wonderful place to visit and to enjoy some of the best culture and arts in the country. And so this is bringing together the arts and culture community, connecting everyone to our rich and diverse heritage as well. And so that is a very important strand of our work together. Second one is opportunity and fourth one is opportunity and education, broadening horizons to raise and realize aspirations. So when you're looking at, I used to chair something called the Local Enterprise Partnership, and people often said to me that they felt they had to leave Suffolk when they left college or school or university. They had to leave Suffolk in order to do better for themselves.
Yes.
And I don't believe that's true. I think we need to encourage young people and people of all generations to realize that Suffolk is a worthy place to get a great job, to establish yourself in a career, to grow a family if you'd like to, and to be part of the community. And so I'd like the festival to focus on opportunity and education and helping people realize aspirations. If you look at some of those areas identified in the Hidden Needs Report, areas of particular deprivation by certain measures, let's reach out to the young people and people of sending them hope and opportunity people of all generations, but particularly the young, to say sort of, yes, you can, to coin a phrase, but together we can reach them. And I know in your own communities of council areas, you will know very well the sort of young people that we need to encourage to stay here and to build a great future for themselves here. The fifth one is health and well-being, hugely important at the moment, championing activities that improve physical and mental health. And that is a huge, huge area. That is why we have the leaders of health and well-being organisations and communities throughout Suffolk really interested to connect with this health and well-being ambition. And finally, last but not least, is community. Strengthening the cohesion we've got, volunteering and resilience across all communities, but strengthening, getting people more volunteering, people around our parish and town councils and around our communities to come together more to create the sort of communities that we've all chosen to live in here in Suffolk. So that's the sort of Together We Can agenda. Those are the 6 key areas. And the next slide, what we, as I said earlier, what we don't want the festival to do is to duplicate or distract from events that are already planned or happening in communities or across Suffolk. The festival must have its unique space, and we are very aware of and respectful of about 400, well over 400 events that in a normal year, happily, hopefully we're getting back to those normal years, would normally happen in Suffolk. So what we are hoping is that those events, such as, well, the Albury Food and Drink Festival or the Beccles Carnival, or you will know many more, we're encouraging the established events in the Suffolk calendar to adopt the festival theme to help celebrate the Jubilee, but meet our aspirations and goals. Let's be part of the Together We Can agenda and aspiration here. So there are those 400 events. And I will ask Tim in a second just to talk about the tiers of events. Not the right expression. I don't mean to make it sound hierarchical, but it all does work, and so we'll get to that in a second. But meanwhile, there are some very bespoke events that people have fed back to us, but they would really enjoy being part of. And these are called the festival headline events. Without these events would not be happening if it wasn't for the festival and the Jubilee. So quickly going through them in no particular order is the Festival of the Sea. This is really getting a lot of traction. And it's not just for the people along the East Coast. You're allowed to enjoy the Festival of the Sea if, like me, you live in the west of the county. But the Festival of the Sea is to celebrate our marine environment, our marine science, international centres of excellence we have here, those who enjoy the sea for leisure, the Royal Navy, the RNLI, Trinity House, the fishing industry, those who just enjoy our glorious coast. So this will be a celebration of the sea and our coastal environment. The second, working down the column, is Business Expo. I've said, I think, enough on our aspiration to support enterprise. But the Business Expo, which is run by Lisa at BT, a senior leader at BT, brought together business leaders from across the county and across many sectors of work here to have a Business Expo, celebration of business and innovation. And that will run from towards the end of June to the middle of July next year. The Jockey Club, of course, has risen to the challenge, as always, and is organising a special Newmarket Race Day, which I think will be one of the first events of the headline event calendars. That'll happen, I think, in May, but that will be a Jubilee Race Day at Newmarket, which we hope, obviously, everyone will want to come and enjoy. Festival concerts, Tim, who will chat in a moment, we're hoping to have a series of up to 3 festival concerts during the festival, during the county festival at Trinity Park, and we are making excellent progress in looking at how that is going to be organised and promoted. And we're hoping, and I hope this isn't a hostage to fortune, for over about 20,000, 25,000 people to come to the concert in the middle of that programme. Very exciting. It'll be a tremendous celebration. A Garland for Suffolk 2. This is a book being produced by the Mary and John James, who own the Albury Bookshop in Aldborough, themselves a Suffolk institution. And it is a second edition of a book that was first published in 1961, when the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh visited Suffolk and, in the language of the day, made a progress through the county. And the book was produced to celebrate all the many dimensions of Suffolk life, its quirkiness, its loveliness, its beauty, its stories, its heritage, its history. And the most remarkable new collection of contributions have been made for the Suffolk Garland book, which will be published towards the beginning of the festival. And I can't wait for you to see copies of that, which will be a great celebration of every aspect of Suffolk life. It will, as Lady Claire says, it will make you smile, and it will make you just want to give lots of copies as presents. But anyway, that's for another time. David Sheepshanks is Deputy Lieutenant and well known as former chairman of Ipswich Football Club and many other aspects of national and county life. He's reviving the youth games, the Suffolk Youth Games, across the county. More details of that to follow. The Queen's Green Canopy, top right, is supporting the Queen and Prince Charles, who planted or launched the Green Canopy across the UK and the Commonwealth by planting a tree just recently. And we're hoping that we're going to be able to plant a tree in Suffolk for every Suffolk resident, and that means 770,000. We're already up to, I think, just over 30,000 and counting. It's a very popular aspect of the festival is, and it involves local authorities, the County Council, our tree wardens, as well as the National Trust, the Forestry Commission, Woodland Trust, and many, many other organisations. And that's being run by Diana Hunt and Robert Rouse in the county. And again, more details of that are available on the website. We'll come to that in a second. Festival Marathon, again, a popular choice of activity, not only for established athletes, of which I'm certainly not, but also for those who sort of couch to 5K, or young mums walking kiddies in the park with the prams, or it's just getting the health and well-being agenda, getting people up and about and celebrating health and well-being. And the Festival Marathon will be a county-wide event. And then the Community Cascade, bottom right, it is all about encouraging communities, parishes, town councils, community organisations, interested and enthused individuals, to look at how communities might like to celebrate the festival and the Jubilee. Details to follow on. Many ideas are being shared, and there's lots of ideas. There's street parties, big community lunches. Lady Claire, on the Thursday of the first Thursday in June, will be the Thursday after the Suffolk show, will be lighting the first beacon. The Queen will light the first one nationally. Lady Claire will light the first beacon in Suffolk, and a chain of beacons across the county. The bishop is looking to share with parishes a form of service for church services. But there's lots of activities that communities are being inspired to think about, whether it's adopting the festival theme for existing fates or community events, or whether something special might be appropriate in local areas. So we invite you, please, to encourage local communities to really come together and celebrate this too. So that gives you a flavour of the headline events. Tim, while I take a sip of water, would you just like briefly to talk about the other, we talked about the headline events, but the other two tiers of events?
Surely. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Yes, really just to talk about the position of the festival team and how we're going to work with the county. We're a very small resource of volunteers led by the Lieutenancy, and we're looking to build teams of volunteers to be able to support different aspects of the work that we hope to achieve, keyword together. Each of the festival headline events has a committee starting to evolve around it. The Queen's Green Canopy is very well established. The Garland book is very well established. Newmarket Race Day, they're moving ahead quite well. The Business Expo, but they will need, as they grow and come into actuality happening, will need project managers, project directors to help, and volunteers to help to bring them to life. So whilst the festival is creating these headline events, and as Mark says quite rightly, these are events that we're trying to put on as the icing on the cake, as bringing together all of the different ideas, but they're events that wouldn't be happening without the festival. So that's one type of event that the festival is driving. The second element, which Mark has referred to previously, is partnership events, making sure that we supercharge as many of the existing events in the Suffolk calendar that may not have happened, as we know, sadly, over the last couple of years, to help them to return bigger and better, to be able to promote them to a broader cross-section of Suffolk people, and also nationally and internationally. We really want to show off what Suffolk is doing. So we have a small team emerging to create that partnership between the festival and existing events in the county. So very important to, if you know of something that's happening of a scale existing, that you perhaps speak to the organisers, let them know about the festival happening and say, look, the festival can help you to raise more awareness and help you come back, perhaps after a couple of years with a real bang. And having all sorts of people that have perhaps never attended your car rally or your concert or your flower festival or whatever it is, have never attended before. So it's a wonderful opportunity there to partner with the festival. And of course, the other piece that Mark has alluded to is this community cascade of activity. We also want to create a team that helps to empower people in your local community, in your local parish, in your local town, in your local ward, wherever you happen to be, to actually hold a celebration in support of the Platinum Jubilee, but also in support of the Festival of Suffolk. Perhaps a way to get people to come out from their burrows, from where they've been hiding, from building people's confidence, bringing communities back together out in celebration, and really focusing on the future of their own lives, of their own communities, and of our county. You will see we're recording this call today, and it will be sent out after this call, just so that you can send it on to other people and they can hear what we've been talking about today. But you can also go to the festival website, which is on this presentation, and just have a look at what's going on so far. There's a holding page at the moment with a bit of information that will be becoming a much fuller piece in the next month or so. But we're in a period of consultation now where everybody is invited to come forward to share their ideas and, crucially, to actively create really special and diverse events that truly reflect how wonderful our community here in Suffolk really is. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Tim. So let's have the next slide. And while we're waiting for that to come up, just a reminder, we do have the chat facility. Please, any questions, comments, feedback, please include those in the chat. And when we finish the presentation, which will be very shortly, we'll go through some of those comments and feedback and answer any questions you've got. But happily, as Lady Claire said in her welcome, we've got a growing number of partners included in the festival who are actively engaged. They are many and various and reflect all aspects of county life. And it's really very exciting to have all these people engaged, all actively working and thinking about what a good Suffolk festival needs to look like and feel like and achieve. And you will see by scanning that list the scale and scope of those who are really keen to get involved and help and support us. And just a reminder too that we will be sending a copy of the presentation following this Zoom call. So one or two people I see have mentioned that in the chat. So you will have the presentation very shortly. The next slide. Yes, well, now we come to the specific invitation, and the next slide will, if my memory serves it, articulate. Yes, here we go. So our invitation to you, please, as again Lady Claire has said in her welcome, we would love you to be involved in the festival, to be part of the Jubilee celebrations, to utilise the moment as we recover, reset and recharge from the nightmare of the, the pandemic, and people are readjusting themselves, their lives, their families, their workplaces and their communities to the new normal. This really is a moment when we can celebrate, but also help and address a lot of those issues that have come up through all of our organisations, through our local authorities and communities that need addressing. Let's utilise this moment and really make the very best of it. So please do encourage council colleagues, community leaders to be part of the festival. As I said at the beginning, it's not a festival that is going to sort of be over-organised. As Tim said, it does rely on you, if I may say, to help us to make sure the festival reaches everyone and that no one is left behind, and that communities, their ideas in communities are really exploited and utilised to the full. We really do want to make this a very happy and achieving year for Suffolk. And I think together we can.